What's up, race fans, and welcome to another episode of the Pecino Report. This is season 2021, episode 27. That's right, of course, like a good Aussie, it is the Casey Stoner episode. 2007 World Championship with Ducati. Oh my God, what an incredible legend. Someone who left the sport too soon. Oh, actually, did he? No, I think he left the sport just whenever the hell he wanted to leave the sport. Didn't play by anyone's rules. Typical Aussie. Yeah, screw you guys. I'm going home. Didn't give a shit. But what an absolute legend. So it's episode 27. It's the Stoner episode. I do like a Stoner episode now and again. Smoking the broccoli. Indeed. Hour. Anyway, enough of that. What a weekend of racing. We're here, episode 27. We've just had some racing in Misano. My jaw has just been wound up from the floor because of such an incredible weekend of racing. It was so cool. We've had a new world champion crowned. This guy ran about there somewhere. Yeah, that guy. And I'm sure everybody's heard about that now. So no spoilers, but there you go. We've got a new world champion. We've had, oh my God, Moto 3 and Moto 2. That's where the action is at. We've got two potential world champions in waiting that are limping towards their world championship. They've got some guys on their tail. Will they catch them? Won't they catch them? It's been so exciting. It's been really, really good. And for all those out there playing at home, playing the shots game, for when Stu going to say it's so exciting, that's one. There we go. Indeed. So before we get into it, I'm going to go and say a quick hello to my amazing, wonderful co-host, Andra. That is probably one of the most exciting, there it is again, weekends of racing that you've ever seen. Have a drink. What did you think of that, Andra?
Oh my God, I want to watch it all again, like every single race, and just, I don't even know what to say. It was just intense. I think we spoke about it leading up. The bikes were all tip top. The riders have been there not long ago. They did their testing. Like, it was just, and it delivered exactly what Manuel said.
It really didn't. And speaking of Manuel, the man whose name is on the 10, look at that. He looks like he's, what was he? He's somewhere official looking. Oh my God. And he's got his Pecino GP tank top on, his polo top and everything. Manuel, how you doing? I take it you've made it back from Misano. You're back in Pecino GP headquarters.
Look, I am fed up of eating pizza and pasta. Finally,
you poor thing.
Never.
Finally, I meet home. The first thing I'm going to do is eat a paella, you know?
Yeah, paella, some tapas.
And some tapas, that's right. No, it was a fantastic weekend. Things started so-and-so with the rain. We had rain for Friday and Saturday, but this made the things much more interesting on Sunday because no one had been on track on dry. So it was a kind of a gamble. And this was very interesting, and this brought some surprises. And well, it was a great race. A great race, for example, that made that in MotoGP only 15 bikes crossed the finish line. 15.
Oh my God. I didn't even realize that until you said that just before. I was like, oh my God, that's correct. That's
and then
crazy.
You think a lot. Yeah, I've got a list here of everyone crashing out.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so look, realistically, I know there's a lot of headlines going all over the world. There is so much talk of who do you talk about first? Do you talk about this guy, the world champion? There was an amazing 1-2 by Repsol Honda. There's Vale's last race at Misano as well. But I think realistically, from a neutral point of view, I'd really like to talk. I know we spoke a lot about this guy last week or the other week when there was no racing, and we had a deep dive into Fabio.
Lucky everything we said was relevant because he has won the championship.
That's right. Whew, don't we look really smart now? I know exactly. But yeah, Manuel. So he's finally done it. As we say, he's probably riding at, well, from that riding the weekend, he's probably riding at 50% at the moment. But what do you think about Fabio getting his world championship 1 year late?
1 year late. Why 1 year late?
You should have had it last year.
Oh, yeah, true.
Well, last year.
It is like the apple on the tree until it's not mature.
That's right. Yep. It's not ripe yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, it was a great weekend. He was so touched when he finished. He cried in the front of the TV, of the Spanish TV. He couldn't
like
stop.
A baby. Yes.
Yeah. That was a great weekend, great race again. He could have been more conservative, but we saw him doing some overtakings that were hyper brilliant. and he deserves it. We have explained it so well in our last episode,
Yeah, definitely.
22 years old, and there he is, world champion. And the first in France. So many good things. Yamaha is back,
Is that? But that's a question. Is Yamaha back, or is it Fabio who's here?
No, look. What it shows is with that bike, if you hear listen to the other riders, they will say it's so difficult to overtake with the Yamaha. Sorry. Watch your teammate how he does it.
It's like a sea of red and a little bit of blue just in there.
Yeah,
and he comes
and it's only him.
Yeah.
At a certain point of the race, you saw him. There was a group of 4 riders.
Yes, and
and he was he was in the back, and I was thinking, oh my God, there is a big chance for him having an incident. But it took half of the track to overtake the 3 guys.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So realistically, are we saying that the only reason that Morbidelli is not performing on the bike is because of his injury? So you think next year Morbidelli should be quite competitive?
He should. He has all the cards in his hand.
At a bike next year.
We know how
the bike. No, it will be interesting how much affects sending a rider into the back of the field, which is what Yamaha did, giving him that bike this year when he had deserved another one. Remember that Morbidelli could have raced with number 2 on his bike.
Yeah.
This year, this season, he was the runner-up last year, but they set him on the worst Yamaha on the grid. And how will this affect his evolution? This will be interesting.
Exactly.
Stand by for that.
Yeah, so, I actually think that's going to be one of the really interesting things next year is that team dynamic. We've seen how friendly and open that Fabio is and Morbido as well. I'm just wondering if we get something similar to sort of like, because we've seen it this year with Remy and Raul as well in Moto2, but now it's getting a little bit icy. I wonder if you might see something next year if there's a bit of a battle there next year.
I think knowing the character of both, they are the typical ones that each of them will work on their own way.
Yeah,
it's not like we explained in our previous video when Fabio arrived this year in the paddock. He had a very clear idea to steal the number 1 status from Maverick. And this he did after 3 races. But now Morbidelli is a calm guy, maybe sometimes too Brazilian, too calm. His Brazilian side weighs too much. Fabio he's already the world champion, so this will give him
starts with an advantage, confidence,
and a relaxed approach.
I hope so. I tend to agree with you. I think I can't see any conflict there between those guys. Like you say, because of their personalities. But let's keep a track of that.
Healthy competition. Nothing wrong with healthy competition.
Exactly. Would be nice to see respectful competition that really acknowledges there's a boundary between where sport finishes and where aggression starts, because we don't want to die doing this stuff. It's sport.
True. Absolutely true.
Indeed.
Because on the other side of Yamaha, there is not much to be expected. With Darren Binder, finally he will be the man. He will have basically 3 or 4 times on the bike before he starts to race.
There was some interesting feedback from everyone on that. Even though we knew it was coming, there was a lot of criticism which I knew there'd be some, but there was a hell of a lot of criticism. And
a lot more than I was thinking.
And I still come down to what rider, given that opportunity, would go, no, I don't think I'm ready. No, thanks. But they're also critical.
The only previous example of this big jump was Jack Miller.
Yeah,
but it took him 3 years to get ready.
It did. That piece by Simon Patterson earlier this week. I'm sure you guys read that. That was quite interesting, and that spoke about a very interesting point. At the time, Jack Miller was a compelling force in Moto3. He was going for the world championship. He was winning races. He ended up losing the championship by like 1 or 2 points or something at the end of the year. But he was really pressing his case. He was showing why he should be that person to step up. be it into Moto2 or MotoGP, who knows? But Darren really hasn't done that. And so it's very clear it's only a contractual obligation. So I'm wondering, as you say, Manuel, how long that will last next year if he doesn't. And what are they judging as a good performance on a, on a second-rate bike? Who knows?
The situation, remember that I explained you about the contract situation, right? That made it. Well, the story changed because he had that contract signed with Stickerfeld.
Yeah, who's not there for next year
Who was the co-owner of the Petronas team. In the new team, Stickerfeld has been treated and pushed out.
Yep.
So the contract Darren had with Stickerfeld was nothing because Stickerfeld has no team, is not there anymore. So contract-wise, that clause was not valid. But what has made Darren finally switch in that team? He will arrive with a sponsor.
Righto. Okay.
That is with you, and there is a sponsor called, if I am not wrong, Green Power, I think.
Oh, Green Power. Yep. Okay.
And Green Power will be, sponsor probably number 2 or number 3. And this made him. But as I think you said, Andra, who would say no to the opportunity?
Yeah.
He has the opportunity. He is going for it. He will have it. It will have a hard time. 100%.
He's like we've spoken about. He's big for those Moto3 bikes. He's definitely talented. Well, my question for you, Stu, if you had the say on who would take that seat instead, who would you choose? Have a drink and think about it.
Honestly, I mean, I can give you the answer straight away.
Go on.
Foggia.
Okay.
I'd put Foggia on the bike.
On that same move. I mean, from Moto3 straight to that one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's going to be a Moto3 guy,
or anyone,
that's. I mean, it's not going to be a Costa. Well, so if we're talking exclusively Moto3 riders that are going to go up, it's a Costa is pretty much locked into KTM and Red Bull. So if that's not the case, like with you look at the other riders, it's got to be Foggia. He's the one that's compelling. He's the one that's pushing forward. But I understand there's, nationality sensitivities, there's sponsorship sensitivities, there's contract sensitivities. And so that would never happen. So, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's good point. Good point. But anyhow, we will see Darren the first time on the bike. 17 plus 5, probably on November 22 on the test in Jerez de la Frontera, the big MotoGP test. There will be 2 or 3 day testing, and that is where poor Darren will switch or jump from a 80 horsepower bike to a 300 horsepower.
Oh my god!
And we saw Jake's face going from the Moto2 bike. I can't even imagine jumping up.
His first session, he got up and went, "Holy shit!"
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's putting it nicely. Okay, that's that's fantastic. So look, let's talk about these guys. I want to talk about these guys for a second. Realistically, I think that they had an amazing weekend. Like realistically, these 2 guys here, I wasn't expecting Pole to be anywhere near that podium at all. Mark, people are saying he was gifted the win. Yeah, no, you've got to be there. But Repsol Honda.
I only just realised that Bastianini came third just then. I went, is that who came third?
Who's that guy? What the hell? Oh, don't worry. That's a point I want to get to in a minute.
Sorry.
But yeah, so Repsol Honda, their first 1-2 for 4 years.
Wow.
And it's been overshadowed by all this other news. We had remember the beginning of this year and all through last year, Manuel and Andrew, we had so much doom and naysayers from Honda. Honda's stuff for the next 5 years. They're never going to win another race.
Pole struggled so much at the start of this season. And,
Alex Marquez is shit. He can never ride the bike. Pole's not any better. He can't ride They've built a bike for Marquez and no one else can win on that bike. what's
Old Marbia.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
so-
That's what's like. What's happening,
But
Manuel?
Stu, so far nobody has won, but Mark on that bike.
Yeah, that's right. So we can't argue with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the good thing, look, the thing is to know if this result shows that Honda has got out of the limbo they were so far. You know, how do you say? Like we say in Spain, one bird doesn't make the spring.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
understanding that you need
Exactly. But he's 2 wins on the trot. Yeah.
No, Marquez was fantastic. Marquez was amazing. He crashed again, I think twice in practice, once again, and on Sunday he was there. And for me, the interesting thing is that we have seen the new Marquez, how he wins the new style.
Yes.
Look, the old Marquez, do you think he would have stayed 20 laps behind Pecco Bagnaia? Never, ever. He stayed 20 laps because the race was 27 laps. Super Jack Miller crashed in the 3rd lap.
Yep, 3.
And Pecco Bagnaia crashed in the 23rd lap. So he was 20 laps behind. And I tell you something, if you look at the lap by lap sheet of the race, you see for 17 laps, 80 laps, for 80 laps, the gap between Marquez and Bagnaia was oscillating between 1/10 and 3/10.
Yep, it was sitting there about 0.2 just all the time.
Yeah, 0.2.
He's just sitting behind him. That's all he was doing. He could have had a go at any time. And you're exactly right. Old Mark would have just gone, get out of my way. I'm just going to go.
He would have just gone over him, And then look, if you look at these papers, you will see lap until lap 20, the gap was one between 1 and 3/10. Lap 21, Marquez starts to slow down.
Right. Yeah.
And the lap grows to 6/10. In lap 23, which is the lap when Pecco crashes, in sector 3, he was already 8.
Whoa.
Right. So Pecco was trying to push.
No, I thought this as well. What happened is that Mark slowed down.
Okay. So he's managing his tires. Is that what he's doing? He's just
riding
the bike.
He was physically, and he said, today, everything got in line for me because Pecco crashed exactly when I gave up.
Wow, which is funny because when you were talking before, I was like, he's riding so smart and he's adapted with his injury and he's doing that.
Yep.
So he said, I had given up, and Pecco kept the same pace.
Yep.
And crashed. Incredible, eh? Incredible.
And I was hearing as well that some of the commentators were saying that halfway through the race, round about their lap 20, 21 or something, there was a temperature change, like it cooled down by 5 or 6 degrees. And so they were saying that the track cooled down, and so the hard tire just cooled down by that amount. And that could have been why Pecco, trying to maintain the same pace on a hard tire on a colder surface, just lost the front.
Yeah, look, this detail I didn't know, but I tell you something. Exactly, look, there are riders. One of the key points for a rider to see the maturity of the rider, which Jack has not, by the way, is to understand where is the limit and accept the limit. For example, apart from this race, a guy who understands very well what is the most he can do that day is Joan Mir. He never crashes. Apart from here. Rins is the other side. Quartararo, the same. This year he has accepted doing 8th in Aragon, doing 13th in Jerez. You know, this maturity to say, okay, today is the day to do 6th is the maximum.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what world champions do.
And there are not that many. You know, for example, Jack is completely the opposite.
Oh, yeah. I thought for a while there that he had matured and he had learned that valuable little piece. And it seemed there was a few races there, you know, sort of last year and the beginning of this year, where it seemed like he'd learned that. And we heard some comments from, eighth was the best we could do today, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, okay, that's fantastic. He's learning his limits and to feel the limits of the bike. That's great. But then the last few races
he's dropping the ball. There's something off track. It's like there's something off track that's affecting it.
Yeah.
Andra, just a quick point to Jack. I had to write a story about Jack on Sunday night here in this press room.
That wouldn't have taken too long.
You know, I compared him, you know, about cycling, right? Yeah. Cycling, there are the guys who are sprinters,
yep, and the
one who are good in, and this is the figure of Jack. A sprinter will never win Tour de France or one of these 3-week races.
Yep.
But when they come to a sprint, they are strong. Jack is in motorcycle racing what a sprinter is in cycling. Yep. From my point of view, you know. If
you ever want to be near the front in a MotoGP race, sit behind Jack Miller for the first 5 laps. You'll be guaranteed to be in the top 5 after 5 laps.
Yeah, and there are races that, because of how they evolve, there is a sprint at the end, and there Jack is good. The problem is that he is not consistent.
Exactly. And who knows? Time may tell. He may iron that out. He may learn that lesson. Who knows? I've been seeing reports this week as well, in various bits of social media and whatnot, about how people are saying that Ducati now have the perfect team with Jack Miller and Pecco, which I found to be interesting.
Who said that?
Look,
yeah. Who said that? Just because the teammates are both fast, competitive, but when we talk about teammate dynamics, they're also very friendly and very close to one another as well. So they have, while they're rivals on track, they both like each other and they enjoy each other's company and they help each other out. Do you think that could be a help for Ducati moving forwards in future years?
Look, we see here, this is the qualifying front row, right? Yep. This was the ideal Ducati situation. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
The 3 Ducatis.
I can't believe Luca was
Luca Marini. I can't say that name without an Italian accent. How can you say? You can't do it. I defy anybody to say Luca Marini.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it.
Sorry, carry on.
So look,
he's lost his train of thought now.
No.
It was your accent. You threw him off.
No. Look, when had Yamaha their best moments? When 2 guys in the garage wanted to beat each other, Valentino Rossi and Jorge Lorenzo, and they won championship one behind another. Bam, 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 bam.
Yes. Yep.
So for a team, if the manager is good enough to handle this, the bigger the rivalry, the better for the team, because
as good as he's Italian.
Very true.
One pushes the other.
Yep.
It does. So yeah, realistically, I suppose, as you say, as well as the 2 riders having a healthy rivalry, it very much comes down to the management of the team, doesn't it?
Of course. If they are not capable to manage this situation, this is to have somebody pushing you is the best way to grow.
I think so.
This is clear. And if this person is sitting on your side, more.
Yeah. But I see a healthy competition rather than someone you don't like. You're going to be able to be more focused and
but Andra, in racing, the word healthy.
Oh no, I mean, like, you say like Pecco and Jack respect each other and like each other, so they're going to compete still to win. But then you look at 2 riders that say Jack Miller and Mia, they're going to be more angry and that it's going to cloud their focus with that anger.
Yeah, exactly.
And in 2019, Ducati built up a team, and their strategy was, we are putting together two friends in the team. That was Dovizioso and Petrucci.
Mhm.
At the start of the season, Petrucci was, he's like my elder brother. I admire him very much. I go training with him motocross.
Yep.
When Petrucci beat Dovizioso in Mugello, this brotherhood finished immediately.
Yep.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
It
Yep.
works when one is the tough guy and the other one is like the one who is learning.
Whipping boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the other guy I wanted to talk about, the other big thing on the weekend that I wanted to talk about is this guy.
Top 10.
This guy.
Valentino. Who's that?
Just some random Italian dude. I don't know. I think he's raced a couple of races. I was like, hey, dude, who got that helmet? You see that picture
Oh my
of that guy?
God, that
who
was
got that? He was
amazing.
like, that thing's going to go for millions.
For our listeners, we
Yeah,
mentioned-
yeah. Probably it will be now how do you say, in an auction somewhere
on
in
eBay.
On
in
eBay.
Sotheby's. No, eBay, no, Sotheby's.
It's Sotheby's.
Yeah.
Forza Valley.
But
Yeah.
we were saying before, I was so excited. I was like, Valentino finished top 10. But then Manuel burst our bubble by saying only 15 people finished the
15
race. But
Well,
that
that's
doesn't
okay.
that doesn't change it.
You know what? If I could go and do a random track day and finish in front of 5 MotoGP riders, I'd be happy. Because that's all he's
Yeah.
doing. At this point, he's just doing a farewell tour. He's
Yeah.
pretty much
Look,
riding
why
around
not?
doing monos
Brilliant.
and waving at the crowd.
We did we all journalists did a t-shirt
Yeah.
for this weekend with the 46 and it says, "Thank you, Vale." So at a
That's
certain
amazing.
point
Aw.
on Saturday, we went down to the pit lane and we did a photo with him. And knowing Vale, he was very nice, but he was with his balls completely full, you know. And he said, "This weekend I would need how do you say, Sosha, a guy that looks like him?
A double.
How do you say, a double?"
Mhm.
Because he had so many photos to take, so many
Yes.
events,
Yeah.
so
Needs a-
many.
needs a clone.
He was like,
Yeah.
Had enough. I want to go ride
know,
the motorcycle. Leave me alone.
you know, yeah, and here and that, and everybody obviously wanted the best of him and
Yep.
showed respect, showed admiration. But hey, at a certain point, enough
Yeah.
is enough.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
He's going out good. Did you want to say anything else about him? Because I was going to talk about a team.
I know. I just want to go quickly back to Marquez on the top of the podium.
Mhm.
The whole circuit, 63,000
They
people
booed.
booing, and
That was terrible.
Yeah.
and I tell you, every minute, Mark was happier to have ruined.
he loved it.
He loved it, and this was one of his dreams to ruin
Oh my
To-
God.
Valentino Rossi farewell.
Oh,
Misano.
no, that's brilliant.
So I was like, I can't believe they're booing him that bad.
Yeah, they're
That's
booing, and
hilarious.
imagine him on the top saying, "Okay, you can boo,
Yeah, bring
but
it
the
on.
one who is here,
Yep.
am I?" You know.
That's
Yeah,
a strong
and-
character to have thousands of people
But that's
booing
Marquez.
you.
That's Marquez.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
exactly.
I am so sure that he was feeling better than ever up there, and not because he won, because he just ruined the party of
Mhm.
Valentino. You know.
But realistically, nothing else was ever going to happen. Like Valle was never going to get on the podium, realistically, in that race.
Yeah, but another could have won. Imagine if Pecco had
Any-
won, it would.
I suppose, yeah.
big-
That's probably that for me is probably why they were booing, is because Pecco didn't win. But realistically, Mark had nothing to do with that. You know, it's
No, but
I think
whole-
the biggest story is this guy on the podium on a 2-year-old bike.
Again.
Again, exactly. And now there's media reports of him going, that the media are saying to him, "So are you going to get a GP22 next year?" And he's like, "Well, I wasn't going to, but after this podium, I'm going to go back to Ducati and see if I can get a GP22 for next year."
Yeah, well, if Gigi thinks that he has a future, Dalinha, he will give him
He
a
should.
2023 bike next year. You know,
Exactly. Yeah, should
Oh,
give him
yeah.
a
So-
rocket ship.
The good thing of Enea is that there isn't a surprise anymore. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
he has done, I think, 6 position third, and then another 6, and now third. So
Mhm.
there is not surprise anymore. We have to start to trust in Bastianini. He's doing
Yeah.
very well.
Yep.
He's doing pretty well. He likes especially Misano. We will see what is happening in the next races, but he certainly has gained his status this year.
Yeah,
Mhm.
indeed, he has. Just quickly, I wanted to have a quick chat about these guys. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, go for it, Andrew.
No, I was first going to say Mir got his double long lap penalty for jumping the start.
What a goose. Yeah.
Is it true that Davide Brivio is looking at coming back? Is that true, Manuel?
What have you heard?
I don't know. Yesterday I flew with the team coordinator of Suzuki from Bologna here to Madrid,
Mhm.
and he didn't know. What everybody knows is that Brivio in F1 is like a fish out of the pond.
He's not doing well.
Bring him home. Bring him home.
They
Yep.
ignore him. They ignore him. He's
Yeah.
not. Nobody knows which his role is there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he was put in that team straight by De Meo, who is the CEO of Renault.
Yeah.
So, not knowing what he does, it's like, is he the ears and the eyes of De Meo? Like, he's
Exactly.
spying us.
Uh-huh.
Is he informing the boss what is happening? So his situation is not very clear. Okay, and if he would return, I don't know. In Suzuki, they would accept him with the arms open,
Yeah, sure. They'd be crazy not to.
They are, but the situation there is, Mir would like the championship to finish today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's doing so bad and he's so demotivated. Look, here we can see in the back where the bike finished when he
Mhm.
crashed.
Yeah,
And
that's
it hit the
crazy.
cameraman. It hit the cameraman
Yeah.
who was there.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So in the team, the atmosphere is completely the opposite as last year. Last year, everything was calm, no discussion, no argues. Everyone trusted the other one. In 1 year, things in
It's
racing
gone-
is like this.
It is. You're right. Year to year, things do change like that. It's gone very bad very quickly. And as you say, we've spoken about this before, haven't we, Manuel? With a team the size and the budget of Suzuki, they can't afford to have these big changes and big dips in performance. They need to maintain continuity because they don't have a big budget to be able to react when things change. They need continuity.
The guys of Suzuki, they said to me, look the sentence, how interesting. He said, if you look at our bikes, it looks like a street bike.
Yeah.
He said, the Suzuki engineers, look at this, said by somebody inside the garage, said the Suzuki engineers still think that the bike is an engine, a frame, and a swing arm. And they say, and it's long time since it isn't like this anymore.
Yep, exactly. They've clearly got the wrong team working on that bike. But
And Petrucci, hey, Petrucci, let me tell you something funny. Petrucci is the nicest guy of the 22 guys on the grid.
Clearly.
He is like a big kid, you know? You know that today is Tuesday? No, yeah.
Tuesday.
Tomorrow he will be in Dubai.
Okay.
Because he will start to train for the Paris Dakar.
Oh, geez, really?
In the KTM factory team.
Are you serious?
So, yeah, and he will do 4,000 Ks until the Portuguese Grand Prix training practicing with the big bikes, because he will start the Dakar race, which is a 2 weeks race in the desert. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know it.
Yeah.
And the race will start on January the 1st. And he has just, look, I know a lot of riders who normally race in Dakar.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them have told me, look, he has not time enough to get in one of these races that are pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
But it seems that he's completely committed to do it because he has raced in motocross, he has raced in enduro.
Yep.
And it's funny because he said, here in Grand Prix, I am old and big. In Dakar, I am thin and young because there are people that weigh 100 kilos.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Picked up on that straight away. Nice. Okay.
That's why I hang out with older people.
One question. Sorry, I want to do one question to you.
Yeah.
Do you think that Fabio, or would you like that Fabio Quartararo uses number 1 on his bike?
Yes.
Definitely. 100%. Yes.
Absolutely. Is he going to?
I don't know. But
could he do it from next race or would it have to be a new season?
No, it has to be next year.
Okay.
But looking at Mir, I just thought about this when I'm seeing Mir's number 1 on his leather. It was on the bike. Look, and I think we have spoken about this. Do you think it's the same for the team members when they see in the garage 2 bikes with the 36 than when they each day see the 2 bikes with the number 1?
I would think so. For me, if I was turning up there every day and I saw number 1 on there, that would be an extra little in my heart.
Well, think of how maybe it could have affected me this year, because remember we had all this anticipation going, is he doing it? Is it doing it? Would that have made a difference to his season?
No, but it's a undercover motivation that probably you don't realize, but you see, number 1, number 1. And it's the same, I think I have told you
the same thing.
Yeah, the famous sentence of Casey Stoner. He said, number 1 should be an obligation for the championship.
Why not? Yep.
He said, for anybody in any circuit in the world, know who is the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If they look to the grid, wow, number 1.
That's a really good point. You imagine as a grown-up taking your child to their first race. As a grown-up. That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, taking your child to their first race. And then having that child stand there in the grandstand and look up at you and go, Daddy or Mummy or whatever, or, transgender lifestyle partner, whatever.
Parent.
Parent, non-denominational parent. Who's the best rider? And you can just go look at the numbers.
Number 1, mate.
Daughter.
Yeah, no, a kid.
Yeah, that's it.
If he looks at the
bam.
grid, a kid or a teenager who is not into racing, if he looks at the grid and see the number 1, he knows who is the best.
Exactly.
Number 1.
Yep.
Number 1 is number 1. On the music list, the number 1 of this week, everyone knows what means being the number 1.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Who is number 36? Come on.
The 36 best guy. I don't know.
Yeah, there's 35 guys that are better than him, apparently.
And I tell you something more. They are all obsessed with selling T-shirts. And the only one who sells T-shirt is number 46.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder how many number 36 has sold John Mir. How many numbers, even 93 doesn't sell T-shirt. Even him.
Exactly. I'll tell you now.
Because he's number 93. He's way.
Yeah. But going to Phillip Island every year for the last couple of decades, you can guarantee when you stand anywhere near the T-shirt stands, number 46 is walking out the door. It's going. For every 5 number 46 pieces of merchandise, there might be 1 number 93.
No, you're very generous. I would say every 50.
Yeah. But but in there you've also got a bunch of people getting a number 69, getting Nicky Hayden, getting getting a 53 or getting some other ones, But that's what happens indeed. Okay, look, let's move forward. Is there any other specific points that you want to talk about, Manuel, as far as MotoGP goes, or can we move to the
No,
more
I
exciting stuff?
I just very, very quickly saying that having closing Quartararo the championship, the next races will be super interesting because they will race just for racing. You know, that will be,
Pressure's
how
off.
do you say? Yeah. Quartararo will give it all.
Exactly.
Marquez will give it all.
Yep.
You know, and remember that last race in Portimao, Quartararo won with the biggest gap that has happened this season.
Yeah, that's right.
8 point something second. It was Marquez' first race, his comeback. So I'm sure Marquez wants to, how do you say? We have something to solve here.
Yeah. Exactly. All right.
Moto 2.
These guys.
Oh my God.
I was watching that race. That was edge of the seat stuff. I was doing maths in my head and everything. I was going, how many points ahead is he?
And it's one of
those.
It's like when you watch it, and I don't really watch football, but say if you go to watch a sport and you think, I'm going to go for this team. So I go, Remy's Australian. I'm going for Remy. But then my heart starts to go, oh no, come on, Raul. It's such a bloody mess. And yeah, I was really. I messaged a few people because I was so interested to see how Remy was going to handle the race because he started back a bit. And I was just like, yeah, we've seen him grow and mature over the last year, 2 seasons, really. I was so keen to see if he could keep his shit together. And he is the luckiest bloke, I think, on the weekend because he had his long lap penalty, didn't lose a spot. What else happened? He got some, what was there? I've got tire choice was a bit iffy.
Tire choice was terrible for both of them. They went for a hard front.
Like there was all these things that was just.
What were they thinking? They the entire both of them, the KTM team, they went for a hard front. Idiots.
Yeah, but Stu, they have to do the same. If one does this, the other one has to do the same. Especially Raul, who was catching up. So Raul has to do the same that his teammate because they have to start exactly with the same conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
But even when Raul crashed, I went back to watch it and I can't work out what happened. Did his tire lock up or there was something? I don't know if it was his error.
He's okay. So I've had a good look at it a couple of times, and realistically, I think what's happened is he's grabbed the front brake too hard and he's locked the front brake, and he's done it too late into the corner. So he's grabbed too much front brake. Normally, if you have a little front brake lockup, you'll be okay if you're going in a straight line. That's fine. But because he's hit the brakes so late and so hard, he's hit the front brake as he's just started to change his body weight, and the whole front end of the bike's just gone straight down.
Yeah.
That's what he's done. It's just gripped and bitten. I think I don't normally enjoy listening to the Fox Sports guys, but Kev McGee was talking about it on the weekend, and Kev McGee, MotoGP racer from way back, he knows what he's talking about. And he was saying, those carbon brakes in those conditions, if you try to grab a little bit too much, that initial bite will get you by surprise sometimes. And we think he's just had too much bite.
Yeah, it was immediately after he got into the lead.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
He didn't cross the finish line once leading the race. So he was probably overexcited, Now I'm in the front.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And now his mentality was he's probably going to try and push for a gap. He wanted to try and break the people behind him.
And what I was impressed, did you see the speed? He was like twisting, It was like a washing machine when they got to the... I was thinking in his brain, inside his head,
I was thinking, this guy is stuffed. I thought he was going to break something. Again, here we go. That's that.
Oh, my! The way he tucked in.
I thought he was absolutely stuffed. I thought, well, there's the world championship because he's not going to race for the rest of the year. But then in the interview afterwards, he was very quick to say to the interviewer, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. Let's go. Let's move forwards.
Oh.
I don't know what happened, but I know I made a mistake. So let's move forwards. That was impressive for me.
Yeah, that was a big, and that race was so strange because the one who won, Sam, did so many mistakes.
He gave me a couple of heart
gosh.
attacks. There was one he nearly high-sided, and
He
it
was
was
out
just
of
like,
control.
Yeah,
He was,
it was old
out
Sam.
of control.
Old
Yeah,
Sam.
exactly.
Yeah, and this tells me or takes me to ask you, if a guy doing so many mistakes win the race, is the level so low in the class?
I was thinking, I was thinking the same thing.
I like the pun you did there, Manuel. You said
The what?
You said it was so low.
So low. Sam Lowe's.
So low.
Sorry.
No, yeah, because okay,
so
is
Sam Lowe's.
Raul's really so good rider, or is the level of the category low? You know what I mean?
I think that Sam was lucky that he didn't stack it with all the mistakes he made.
And another sign, another signal.
Yep.
Indication. Yep.
Indication. Who finished second? A guy who did a long lap.
Yeah, Augusto. Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
which
is the level of the category?
Augusto, right? He's a bloody good rider. He's been standing out for most of the season, though.
Yeah, but he is a very good rider, but he's been on and off for the last. How long has he been in Moto2, Manuel?
Yeah,
5 years, 4 years.
The thing with Augusto is that he has missed this year. He started at the beginning of the year. Canet had 2 different chassis. Okay, most of them choose one. He wanted to go his own way. In the middle of the season, finally, the team decided, okay, this doesn't work. The more we insist in setting it, but they switched to the one everyone uses.
Yep.
So it took him a couple of Grand Prix to settle the bike, while the others had settled it in the first part of the season.
So he's behind straight away.
Yeah, once he started to do result, and this is the Augusto we are looking at today.
Because he's moving to Akioyo team, right?
Yes, and this is another mistake in my point of view, because last year he was in Team Pons. He was in Mark VDS. Next year he goes.
We spoke about this. He's been in a different team every year.
Continuity. Yeah.
But then, how old is he? Is he youngish still?
Not too young. He will be, I think, in the middle age.
Yeah, he's late 20s, isn't he? Yeah.
So in the Akioyo team.
Sorry. He has the same age as Joan Mir, because they went together to Jorge Lorenzo's father's school.
That's right.
Right. That's right. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So I know obviously he's moved around a lot, but if he's going to have like a really good team and support and stability and guidance with the Akioyo team, what do you think we'll see, Manuel?
Well, he goes there to win the championship. It's like his last chance. Everyone who goes to that team has to fight for the championship. Everyone.
Yep.
Oh, you have to. Exactly.
Yeah. It's
sometimes you have to fight really, really hard and stuff it up the inside of some random Cat Chandra guy. That was not pretty.
Oh my God. Yeah. What was that? I sat there and I was like, that wasn't Remy's fault. Because I'm such
Open your other eyes.
Because he was in front and he didn't seem to cut his line. He came in a bit and kind of had to correct and fell. Was it? What do you got? I'm curious what you think.
It was 100% Remy's fault, 100%. He just pushed the other rider out. So it was the penalty was an obligation.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Canet made me laugh too. Walking, he ran out of fuel. He ran out of fuel on that. He was coming second. No, sorry, third.
Second,
and lost it on that last corner. And we're like, what are you doing? He was running out of fuel and the bike was starting to cut out on the last lap.
Yeah, that was crazy.
No wonder he was so angry.
Do you know what happened between Augusto and Canet in practice?
No.
Do you after the race I spoke with Augusto and I asked him, how much horsepower extra did the angry you were with Canet? Because
he's an angry ant, isn't he?
Oh, he is. Yeah.
in the practice, Canet was 3 or 4 laps behind Augusto looking for the lap time. Then he overtook Augusto, and after he went to the race direction saying that Augusto had slowed down on purpose to and Augusto got penalized with the long lap because of this.
Really?
Is that why he had a long lap in the race? Oh,
yes,
my God.
because Canet Saturday went against it.
No way.
So Augusto went out in the race with, he just saw Canet in front of him. Canet. So
Yeah.
I'm going to steal his fuel.
Yeah. So I tell you something, there was a general thinking or somebody, general thinking after race that the fuel didn't run out. That he just got overtaken.
Right. He just got done.
Yes. And Augusto, imagine Augusto, how he felt after the race,
yes.
50 feet tall. Exactly.
and the good thing is that the other was sitting in the press conference there. So if Canet had finished 4th, the satisfaction would not have been that big. You know?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's karma. That's karma.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's great.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And then we go to Moto3.
Manuel, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to just go, okay, we're done. We know it's your favorite.
Oh, it is.
Oh, Moto3 is getting so interesting.
Neil Morrison would be proud of you.
Look, I went to dinner with Neil in Misano and 3 Italian journalists.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we have had here Neil, and he's, as you know, he's a very serious guy.
Yeah, that's
a
right.
very Irish serious person.
Yeah.
So at the end, he was laughing. He didn't understand the word in Italian, but he was laughing, drinking, eating pasta.
He's Irish. Is he Irish? Love it.
Brilliant.
And after the dinner, he said, "Hey, today we have had fun." I said, "Of course, we are in Italy."
Bless him.
Oh, fantastic.
What happened in Moto3? What's worth talking about?
Oh, my God.
Why was it
What's not worth talking about? Pedro Acosta.
Was he cracking the shits because he didn't win? I'm not seeing. We've talked about how mature he is and how grounded he is for a young guy, but I don't know what was going on there on the podium. He was not very happy, and I'm not sure why. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
It's pressure is the version of the pressure, and being 16, if you are 25, you handle the pressure.
Yeah.
If you are 16,
exactly. As we said at the beginning.
Yeah,
like 5 or 6 races in, he was 80 points clear in the World Championship, and it would have been a case of in his head and in the team, it would have been, yes, look, you're going to win the World Championship this year, and next year you're going to be in Moto2, and then in 2 years' time you're going to be in MotoGP, and your career path is set. That's fantastic. And at the beginning of the year, he would have been, this is awesome. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now towards the end of the year, reality has hit in, and Dennis Foggia is beating him every single race, and his lead is cut to 21 points, and he is more and more pressure. And as Manuel says, he's only 16 years old. He's not equipped to deal with this pressure yet.
Yeah.
And so he's having to learn how to deal with it.
The guy who won, I think, the first 3 races of the year and impressed all of us, all of the other MotoGP riders, I think since the summer break, he has done 1 podium.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. In English, Manuel, we have a saying, and it comes from snooker or pool. Yeah. So when you finish a game of snooker or pool, you say you put the cue in the rack. So the cue, snooker cue, and you put it in a rack. Yeah. So the saying comes from when you have a big break in snooker and your opponent can't win. There may be balls left, but there's not enough points left to win. So you put the Q in the rack and you're happy because you know you've won. Okay. So that's what he's done.
Like
He's
Fabio
put
last year.
Yep, exactly. He's put the Q in the rack.
Before
Before the end.
Thank you for explaining that, Stu. That was beautiful. That was explained beautifully.
Sorry, I know we have lots of people from all over the world that might not understand these sayings.
I'm teasing you.
So Andrew. No, that's right. But no, you're right. But that's what he's done. But he's done that too early. Realistically, he really has. He's tried to relax. And
you know what happened, and even more if you are a teenager, if you start to hear, you are how good you are. Yeah. You are the future. You are the new Marquez. Who with 16 can digest something like this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Nobody.
But has he still, I can't remember what the points are now he's still got
21 points in the lead.
So 21. Why
he will probably win the world championship.
What was he upset about?
Because there's
he didn't win?
It's the perception of pressure. Yes, he didn't win. His main rival got closer to him than he was before.
He still got good points. He still rode well.
You think about it from his point of view, though. He just needs one DNF. There's still 2 races left. He has one DNF. He just falls off.
Yep.
And the other guy is.
I guess the pressure moves to that next race instead of say winning this weekend and then. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Look. The pressure. The one who is leading has always the pressure. The one who is coming, he has nothing to lose.
Yep.
He has only to gain. Yep. The one who is in the front has a lot to lose. What is happening?
Like Moto 2.
Moto 2, like Moto 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So I think that's realistically that's it for me. The story of MotoGP in 2021, when you look at the last couple of weeks, it's going to be all about Moto 2 and Moto 3. Obviously MotoGP is done and won. Those races, as you say, Manuel, they're going to be interesting over the next few weeks. At Portimao and at Valencia, it's going to be very interesting because Fabio's got no pressure now. He can do what he wants. And so we're going to see real Fabio. We're just going to see true racing. But Moto 2, Moto 3.
Moto 2 is going to be mental.
It's going to be insane.
Yes, perfecto. Mental, yes.
Mental.
What do you predict?
Who wins? Well,
I'm actually going to put my money on Raul.
No, I'm going to stick with Remy. Exactly. I'm sticking with Remy only because I love him.
I hope, but I'm just, I don't like to follow.
By the way, let me tell you something about Raul.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we spoke, he was
20.
No.
Sorry, I'm being stupid. Did he have a birthday?
He was confirmed as KTM MotoGP rider for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, but things can change.
What?
Really?
Manuel.
Manuel. Don't do that.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
We're going to have to watch
I told you how
of a podcast to get this scoop.
I did. I worked like a rat in the paddock of Misano. So the situation is the following. There is again the door open for Raul going to Yamaha next year.
Oh my God.
But absolutely, look, if I let you guess 10 times how will it happen, I can let you guess 10 times. You will never get to the real situation. Never.
We can make shit up.
So hang on, we've got Morbidelli and Quartararo, and then we've got Darren Binder and Dovi in the other team. I can't see where he's going to go.
Yeah, because you are looking at
another team.
VR46
at the wrong category.
What?
World Superbikes.
What are you talking about?
He's going to be partnered with Top Track and World Superbikes.
No, look at this is good, Stu. This I would never have imagined.
Not in MotoGP.
That'd be cool.
You're saying not in MotoGP.
Not in MotoGP. The story is the
Why
following.
why would you not go in no, wash your mouth out. Why would you choose something outside of MotoGP? Stu, wash your mouth out.
Because as Stu said, the 4 bikes, Yamaha bikes, have a rider, have an owner for next year.
But he can ride for a great team in MotoGP.
How many tries did you do already? I think more than 10. Okay.
We all know I've got no idea. So come on, Manuel.
Just give it to us.
Okay. One of the conditions Raul put on the table of KTM when he signed was that his brother would be next year in a strong KTM team in Moto3.
Okay.
Aww.
This has not only happened, but he has been sacked from the team he has raced this year. So Adrian has no bike for next year.
Yep.
And Raul feels treated by KTM.
Yep.
Raul, I would say his family, his father, basically.
So it feels a bit betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
Betrayed is the word. Exacto. Betrayed. So they moved again towards Yamaha.
Yep.
And look the situation. Now comes the real key of the story. Raul has a big clause if he leaves KTM to go to another team.
MotoGP team.
In MotoGP.
Holy
so he can go to another category.
No. Let me continue. In MotoGP. Then a pause of silence. Dun, 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 dun. You have to put music here. Bam, 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 bam.
Bam, bam, bam.
But the fee, if he moves from KTM to another team in Moto2, is very short.
He wants to stay in Moto2.
Fuck off.
No, hang on. He doesn't want. This is the situation. I tell you the situation.
Okay.
He can't move. He can't leave KTM to any other team in MotoGP because the penalty he has to pay is huge.
Too high.
The penalty he has to pay if he moves from the KTM team to any other team in Moto2 is small. Pale. Wow. What has somebody offered him? We put you in our new Moto2 team called VR46.
I said VR46. No way.
And we guarantee you the Dovizioso factory bike
the
in
year
2023.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
What about Adrian? What about his brother? Does he get looked after in this?
But look, this is
team in Moto3.
They will put it somewhere. So if I were KTM, obviously I would put immediately Adrian in a whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want.
I kick out, whatever.
What's that? You want him on a rocket ship to the moon? He's there. He's done.
And I think this is what will happen at the end. Because
KTM will just fold.
It's a simple way to solve a super uncomfortable situation. But
wow,
the relationship between Raul and KTM has already deteriorated a lot because it's not the first time.
Because you hear about this being such a family, positive relationship, lovey-dovey, la-da-da.
Don't you listen to Manuel, Stu?
So, no, but that's what you hear about with KTM. That's the image they try to put forward.
But KTM is how it is. KTM is you are or with us or against us.
Yep.
So Raul, you know that in the past he was a Aspar team rider.
Mm-hmm.
And he left the team the same way and he had to pay a penalty. He moved from Aspar to Akiajo, paying a penalty to leave that team because he broke the contract.
Right.
So it's
so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, when we speak with 20, probably this decision is not his, as we can imagine, no?
Yeah.
But this is the situation exactly, and it was in I went to speak with a certain manager to clear if what I had heard was real.
Mm-hmm.
When I started to explain him, look, I know the conversations too was the following. I told him, look, I know that Raul has a big clause to that. And then he said, who tells you these things? And my
How
answer,
did you know this?
my answer was, this is not your problem. So when I finished to tell him the story I told you, he kept silent, just looking at me for a while. And then he said, it would be almost impossible. And then he turned around and started to walk away. And then he stopped, turned around at me and looked at me and said, Raul is really very upset.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So he, with that sentence, he told me everything, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And Raul has already spoken previously about how much he actually feels like he doesn't want to leave Moto2 next year.
Mm-hmm.
He wants the extra year. So this
he doesn't want. This is the solution, Stu. The solution to get to a Yamaha, which is the bike he said he wanted to ride.
Yeah, exactly.
So if that happens, who do you think would take his seat with Remy?
I don't know, but look, which is the hurry? He's 20.
Yeah, exactly.
So why hurry? Mm-hmm. So instead of arriving with 20, he will arrive with 21.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And be where he wants to be, on the bike he wants to be on.
Being a bike that is world champion with the guy who is behind you or on the screen, instead of a bike that is too much up and down, up and down.
Yep.
So this is the situation. And probably if I don't return from Portugal after explaining this, I will be appear.
We know why.
In the sea.
It was nice knowing you, Manuel.
Well,
considering you've just chucked that one out, have you got any other things to tell us on riders that are going to be getting seats? Because I thought we would have had more announcements by now, but it's been a bit quiet. What else can you tell us?
Everything is okay. Do you know, talking about Moto3, that KTM Group will have a fourth brand in Moto3 next year?
No, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, they have already KTM, they have Husqvarna, and they have Gas.
Gas, yeah.
Yeah. So there will be another brand that I think it's called CFM Moto.
CF Moto. Yeah.
Which is Chinese
brand. Yeah.
So because KTM has this brand in China.
Yep.
So trying to advertise this brand worldwide.
Yep.
They will race with a team it will be the same KTM than the others, but with a different brand.
Yep. I've been seeing a lot of CF Moto stuff coming up in the last sort of 12, 18 months, especially in the last 2 or 3 months. They've announced a lot of inclusion in racing teams and new bikes that they're putting out. They're making big moves, those guys. So that actually doesn't surprise me.
Look, I tell you something. Until now, these CF motos, they basically, they only were built for the local market. With this move, I would, the other brands know that they are ready to start to export worldwide.
Exactly. We've actually had them here in Australia for the last 2 years. They came over here. They're road legal. They've got some nice looking bikes, and I think they're starting to bring. They've got, I think, an electric racing bike, an electric sports bike that's coming out soon as well. But they've got a nice chassis. It sort of looks like a Yamaha MT-07 kind of a sports cruiser kind of thing.
So, and behind this brand is Stefan Pierer, who is the president of KTM.
All right. Okay. That explains a lot. Yeah. I thought they were just some random Chinese brand, but that ties a lot of things together for me. Wonderful. Thank you.
And something more. Gas will have in Moto2 a team.
Ooh.
So KTM will win the championship with a Triumph engine. With a Triumph engine. Yeah. Everyone thinks, we know this story, but any normal person will think that the KTM is a KTM. So, Triumph is giving KTM the title, and the same will happen with Gas. So they start to promote the brands with the work that is done in Triumph, and nobody really, and Triumph gets nothing out of that.
Exactly. That's the thing that amazes me in Moto2, realistically. Like, all the bikes have all the same engine. It's an incredible race series, and the bikes are so fast and so reliable. You hardly ever see engines blowing up in Moto2. And yet, I don't remember the last time I saw a prominent Triumph marketing logo anywhere. It's crazy.
Why is that? Why?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Bad marketing professionals. I don't know. Put me in charge of Triumph's marketing department for 6 months. We'll change that. There we go.
Good. And Manuel, what about Jake Dixon? I know there's announcement is meant to come out.
Jake will race. Hey, Jake will race with the Gas next year.
There we go, with the Aspar team,
which is where he was before. That's where
he was before. Okay. He arrived at the. You know that the one who introduced Jake in the championship was the track engineer of Joan Mir.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So it seems that he has some kind of to do with his management or something like this.
Yep.
That's good. I'm glad he's being looked after. Thought he was going to get messed over for a while there.
Yeah, same. I thought he was going to end up in British Superbikes or something. So I'm really happy about
that. We have also probably our next issue to talk about the arrival of Ducati as Moto E supplier.
Ugh, no, we don't need to talk about that. But really, that's crazy.
Yeah, from in 2023, the Moto E will be all Ducatis.
That feels dirty.
Yeah, it does.
No, but look, the approach is so different. It's so.
Are they going to put sound effects on the bikes?
The approach is different because so far, electricity, we have linked electricity, at least on bikes, with mobility.
Yeah.
Mobility.
Yep.
Ducati, no. Ducati will start with performance.
Okay. Okay.
And I tell you something super interesting. You know that Ducati is part of the Volkswagen group.
Yes.
So, and the company, the most advanced sports car with electricity are Porsche.
With the Taycan and
So Porsche will build the engine.
Right.
For Ducati. For Ducati.
So there's links there, but they're going to have to, I think they're going to have to work to establish those links for the public so the public can see the path from Ducati to electricity.
Yeah, and the Ducati has a plan, because obviously the question was, do you think that the Ducatisti who are the Ducati fan will accept something like this? He said, well, they have to understand that Ducati as a brand is basically linked with performance. So our relationship with the electricity will not be mobility to save CO2. No.
Yeah.
We will launch performance bike. Attention.
Yep.
Our replica of the electric Ducati will appear between 2025 and 2030 in that gap.
Right. So basically what they're saying is to take the next step in performance, like you've got things like the 1299 and the Panigale, that kind of thing. That's the pinnacle of performance on the road, on the street. That's what Ducati's all about. Yes, it has a certain noise about it, but to take the next step in performance, they have to go to electricity. So they have to prove that the electric bike has the performance to then be able to sell the road bikes. So that's a big ask. So it's down to lap times. It's going to come down to lap times, realistically.
Yeah, but they basically, look, the other day, the Piaggio, Yamaha, Honda and another brand and KTM, they signed joint venture.
Yeah, the agreement. Yeah.
That the batteries they will use in their bikes will be exchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
So you could take a battery from the Yamaha that will work on a KTM. And Ducati didn't sign that agreement. Why? Because they say, we will not launch scooters. The smallest capacity bike that actually sends Ducati is a 900cc engine. That is the Monster.
Yeah.
So we are not going down to start to sell scooters. You know, we are like the Lamborghinis of the cars.
Yeah.
And therefore, our electricity bike will be performance bike, not mobility bike.
So it has to be a much more dense battery than you're going to get out of these things to get that
performance. Of course,
they denser battery.
They have to investigate a lot, and the bike, she said, the bike has to be lighter than the actual electric bikes, and obviously that the distance they can, how do you say, the
travel?
Yeah, it's longer than normal. So they have to invest a lot, but they don't have too much time because 2023 is almost there. So the bike has to be ready, let's say in September or November, to do the first test. But therefore, they have all the Germans in Porsche working for them.
Yep.
And he said something more. In 2030, 80% of the Porsches will be electric.
Oh my God, that's scary.
And they're going to be hover bikes.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, someone who's a bike and car nut and loves the sound of bikes and cars, and I've got a V6 sitting there in the garage. You know, it's concerning. It is a little concerning.
They'll need sound boxes on the side or something.
They will indeed. Just a big stereo system, indeed. Wow, that's crazy. Awesome.
Okay.
Like, guys, thank you so much for another incredible week. It's been amazing. As we always talk about, like MotoGP never fails to excite, never fails to surprise. We saw this coming months away, but that didn't reduce the excitement whatsoever from seeing Fabio Quartararo, FQ20, El Diablo win his first world championship. It's been absolutely incredible. Andrew, before we go, there we go. The El Diablo girl. You got any messages for the?
You know how many people? Because we live in Australia and not a lot of people follow MotoGP. I've had to explain this to so many people every day. They're like, "What's that? What's that number?"
No. I've got a Gardner one, and people go, "What? What's that?"
Yeah, same. So those people listening, I'm holding up my Fabio Quartararo face mask. Manuel looks like he's about to rob a bank with his face mask. And if he's having a sad day, he can turn it upside down.
Exactly.
I would love to hear from our listeners on some topics they would like us to cover in the off season, as we've only got a couple of weeks left, and I'm sure we'll still put some episodes out. But I know when we first started this podcast, Manuel, I can't looking at your face.
Don't take it seriously.
You know, when we started this, we were all in COVID and there was no racing, and we did some amazing things. So drop us a message and let us know what you'd like us to talk about. Yes, that's all I have to say. Sorry.
Indeed. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's been another incredible episode. Thank you so much. So get on the socials, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends about it, tell us about it if you really don't like what's going on. Get out there, but most of all, enjoy MotoGP, enjoy your racing, stay upright, get out there, go for a ride, get a motorbike. The weather's beautiful out there in the Southern Hemisphere. It is beautiful. Indeed.
And keep smiling.
So much. That's right. Have a great time. And like Manuel, like El Jefe says, keep smiling. Take it easy, guys. Bye.
Bye.